Records.
What's up, my people? I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm your host, SG. Welcome to Chill Out Records. And yes, this is not clickbait. This is something that I've actually been thinking about. I've watched a lot of videos that I'm going to share with you guys, and we can try and just figure out what the freaking hell is going on. Because I thought it was just me that was going through these feelings of like, why is it so messed up in this country? But it looks like that's not the case. I'm not the only one going through this. There are a lot of videos going around on YouTube where people are talking about leaving the UK because of a lot of things that they feel just doesn't make any sense anymore. You know, back in the days, a couple of years ago, a decade ago, a lot of people were migrating here because they felt like, yeah, this is the place we want to be because, you know, it's a modern country. It's a first world country. We want to come here and start our families, and it'll just be a better quality of life. But that's not really the case anymore. And I watched these two videos that I'm gonna just go through them together with you guys. And these are two different points that they've raised, but there are similarities in both their points. And there are hundreds of other videos that I've watched, but I felt like these two really hit the nail on the head, and they just raised their points really clearly and very simply. It was just like, a short video, 30 minutes here, 13 minutes there, and 8 minutes here. So under 10 minutes for the other one. And they just hit the nail on the head. So let's just step right into it and see what these guys are talking about.
One of the main reasons that I...
Also, the channel here is called Brett Dev. So, yeah, pretty cool. And the other one is... I cannot pronounce that. We Hate the Cold. Okay, that's what it is. Interesting names for channels. But yes. So let's see what this guy says. He's got some rain in the background. He's currently in Thailand. He moved out of the UK, and he's got some rain in the background, so I apologize for that. But let's hear what he has to say.
I left the UK is that as an independent person, as somebody who, doesn't want to work for somebody else, who has never liked working a 9 to 5, doesn't like taking orders, bit of a rebel. One big problem with living in the UK is it's very difficult to prosper and to be independent, okay? Unless you have a ton of money, unless you come from a very, very wealthy background, you always have to kind of, go along with the system. You're forced to work a 9 to 5. It costs an incredible amount of money to start a business. And if you want to start an online business like I've done, it's very, very difficult to do so because you can't really take the time out of your life to pursue your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, whatever, okay?
Yeah, I did this. I tried doing this. I tried starting a business. And I'm telling you guys, it's not easy. The amount of hurdles you'll go through, obstacles you will face when trying to start a business here, it's mental.
And that's because you're always working a 9 to 5, and you have to work a 9 to 5 because you have to earn so much money in the UK just to survive, just to live, just to pay your bills.
Exactly, because the freaking cost of living is it's freaking mental.
Just to pay your rent. So by the time you've gone to work in the morning, by the time you're back at 6 p.m., you have no energy. You can't really start an online business in the UK.
Yeah, this is something that a lot of people think that is not the case, and even people who move from a different country and come here, and they feel like, oh, I'm going to live a nice, comfortable life. Yeah, fine. You've got like really good amenities and all that. Like the infrastructure is good, but you are working your 9 to 5 like a freaking slave, you're just being whipped and so told this is your 9 to 5 and this is now what you need to do. And you get out of that and you're just dead. By the time you're done, you're finished with your work, you come back home, you are just exhausted. You don't have any energy left to do anything else.
Without extreme struggle and extreme difficulty. This is
Yeah.
why you see so many people coming to Thailand, so many people coming here to start online businesses, and why you see so many vloggers and things like that is because it costs so little to live in Thailand. You really are able to free up your time to work on, becoming independent, building an online business, following your passions. Because if you're working for like Western clients, for example, like what I do, then you don't have to work that much. You can work a couple of hours a day and make all of the money that you need to live, and then spend all of the rest of your time pursuing your own personal, development, building your
Yeah,
own online business.
you don't have that over
that
here.
kind of stuff.
Here it's like,
Back in the UK, that's impossible.
yeah, exactly. You've got a 9 to 5. That's it. You just do that job, and then you're stuck with that. And then when the weekend is here, all you can do is just maybe just sleep and try and just recover from that commute. Especially for those people that are commuting to work. I don't even know how they're just trying to keep up with this.
You kind of have to go along with the system. And if you're the type of person that doesn't want to go along with the system, if you're the type of person that doesn't fit into that 9 to 5, go to school, go to college, go to university, come out, get your degree, come out, get a job, get a mortgage, go to work every day, commute on the train. If you're the type of person that doesn't fit into that framework, it can feel incredibly overbearing. And it's what makes a lot of people miserable, okay? A lot of people are stuck in this. A lot of people are stuck in the rat race, as we like to say. Some people do it and they're fine with it, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. And if you don't fit into that, then you're going to be very, very unhappy for the rest of your life. So, that's one of my top reasons. You really are trapped in the system in the UK, and you are just unable to prosper. You're unable to prosper as an individual. By the way, guys, if you are interested in learning exactly what it is that I do to make money online, how I moved to Thailand, and all the workshop. The second reason I'll never go back to the UK is not only do you have to fit in with the system in the UK, but the system is against you. In the UK, I don't know about the rest of the world, perhaps it's the same for the US. I've made videos on similar topics before, and people in the comments say the US isn't as bad, but one thing I will say is in the UK, there is so much regulation, there is so much taxation. The government is so overbearing in places like the UK.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar for Canada and Australia and things like that, that I honestly believe that these systems are set up, like I said before, it's very difficult to get ahead. The system is against you and it's set up to prevent you getting ahead.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I've tried multiple times. I tried once, and it's not an easy task to, if you want to start your own business and start your own company, whatever. There's so many loopholes. I mean, not loopholes, but like obstacles that you need to overcome just to get started, and you need to have like a ton of money, or know the right people. And even just to get started and have like clients and stuff, it's not an easy thing to do. But it's very easy to get a job 9 to 5 that will just pay you just enough so that you can survive, but not enough so that you can be financially free, or probably just even get out and do things that you'd want to do on a freaking weekend. Just stepping out of the freaking house, going out and hanging out with your friends, or doing something for entertainment. You'll end up spending so much money. It's like it doesn't even make any sense. So you're just stuck and constrained to that whole constant 9 to 5 thing.
It wants you to be a part of the system,
Yeah.
and it doesn't want you to break out. And we see this in various different forms. Okay, there's so many taxes. There's council taxes. There's TV licenses in the UK.
Yeah, I was shocked about the TV license. The first time I heard about it, I was like, "What?" So you have to pay the government so that you can have a TV in the house. And I don't know if they removed that thing, but I watched some videos where people said that they removed it, or now it's included in your council tax or something like that. I don't know. It's just mental that you have to pay for this.
There's a license, there's a tax for absolutely anything and everything.
The other thing I remember was parking fees. parking fees. Go with your car to central London and park it somewhere, and you will just realize how much you have to pay in parking fees.
Thing. You know, if you leave your car in the wrong place, you've got to pay a huge fine.
Yeah,
You've got to pay
yeah.
like a £60 fine in the UK. That is absolutely insane. In comparison, in Thailand,
£60 is like, in Kenya shillings, that would be like what, 12,000 Kenya shillings, 10,000 Kenya shillings, yeah, something like that.
there is literally nothing. I live out here. I pay my rent. I pay my electric.
10,000 Kenya shillings is like someone's salary, and somewhere here in the UK is paying a parking ticket for 10,000 Kenya shillings.
I pay the water. I was just going to say, I think the landlord covers the water. No, I cover the water. I pay my phone and my internet. That's it. And then I have to sort my visas out. Those are the only expenses I have. I don't even have to worry about parking tickets. In Thailand, if I can just leave my bike wherever I want, you never really get a ticket. I had a ticket one time and it cost me 200 baht, which was, it's equivalent of about £5. Okay, so all of these obstacles and all these things that are put in your way in the UK to kind of pin you down, to hold you down, you know, they just don't exist out here. And I honestly believe that they're designed to keep you down. So the second reason I'm never going to go back to the UK is because I honestly feel like the system is against you. The system is there to oppress you. Maybe it wasn't designed that way, but it's evolved into this beast of oppression. And it just makes you feel trapped. It makes you feel like there's no way out. There is a way out, you can leave. But the oppressive government, the taxation, the over-regulation, you know, even if you want to start a business, it's going to cost you.
But then even think about it, like if you want to leave, you need money to leave. But if you're working a dead end job that you're not able to save up for so that you can leave, then you're just stuck in that cycle, isn't it? That's messed up.
Tens of thousands of dollars just to start a business in the UK, just because you have to get all of the permits, all of the licenses.
I remember getting a lot of letters from HMRC because even after I closed down my company, you know, it was like they just kept mailing me and telling me like, oh, you haven't paid tax for this, and you're late on your filing your taxes for this. And I was like, but I closed down the company like a year ago for an entire year. I just kept getting letters constantly telling me like, hey, why haven't you paid these taxes? And I'm like, freaking hell, the company was closed like a year ago. And then the other company that I had hired, like the other smaller company that I had hired to manage my taxes for me, they kept telling me, oh, it's just it's an issue with the lettering system or an issue with the taxing system, and they're just sending you a letter, but just ignore it, don't worry about it. I'm like, how broken is this system?
In Thailand, it's very, very easy to open a business. Pretty much anybody can open a business in Thailand. It's so straightforward. You don't have to deal with all these permits. You don't have to jump through all these loopholes. But this is a problem with the West, isn't it? You know, it's in America as well. You know, I was reading something about in the United States, like comparison to China. In China, they'll just like build a city in a year. In America, it takes them like 8 years to build a highway through a town.
Ooh, and you know, when he said this, it kind of also reminds me of Kenya, why it takes so much time to build something or get something done. It's probably because of corruption. Yeah, well, not probably. It is because of corruption. A lot of people who are sitting in government offices and higher places, they have control over almost everything and anything. And people who do not have the money to bribe them will not be able to get their things done.
And it's because of the massive overbearing regulation. And why this is in place, I would say it's probably due to corruption in the West. Like I said, it's by design, in my opinion. But that kind of goes hand in hand with the first point I made. It makes it almost impossible for you to prosper and get ahead. And the system is purposely designed, in my opinion, to be against you and to prevent you from doing that. I just mentioned parking tickets, right? So this is another thing that I really, really hated about living in the UK. And this is kind of moving on to my third point. You know, when I was in the UK, I used to live in a town called Essex, and I used to work in a nightclub. So we used to have a lot of interactions with the police on a regular basis. And the police, the people that give you parking tickets, traffic wardens, they're all absolute arseholes, okay? The UK is full of so many jobs worth wankers. But
Yeah.
for me, it was intolerable, okay? I
Yeah.
couldn't stand the people that I was around. And this is the third reason that I will never go back to the UK. And I'm sorry if you're from the UK and you think I'm wrong and you think everybody's nice. I may have a biased opinion based on where I'm from, in the southeast of England. But the third reason I'm never going to go back to the UK is because of the people. And like I mentioned, in the previous point, the system is against you. Who is it that enforces this system upon you? It is the people. The system can't operate by itself. The only reason the UK has a horribly oppressive system that pins you down, that makes you miserable, that pesters you, harasses you, puts tickets on your cars,
Yeah.
tells you can do this, tells you can't do that, controls your life with a million different rules. We saw this during COVID. And I've made videos about this in the past. I made a video back in 2018 or 2019 called Police State Britain, and everybody in the comments laughed at me and said I was wrong. We saw what happened during COVID, okay? The only reason these systems, these oppressive systems can remain in place is because of the people. The jobs worth miserable, arseholes that serve this system, serve the UK system, and maybe to a lesser extent the American system from what I can see. Why is it this way? Again, I don't know. I believe honestly that a lot of people in the UK are unhappy and they just don't know what to do about it. Now, I've lived out...
Yeah, but now that's the thing. Like, if you're unhappy, right, try and do something about it instead of just sitting there and blaming other people. And it all comes down to taking accountability for your bad choices. But then again, yes, if you're being oppressed by other people, you will take out that frustration and anger on your neighbors, on your family, on your people around you, on your workmates. Yes, it makes sense, which is not the right thing to do, obviously. If you're pissed off with your job and you're pissed off with your situation, why are you freaking taking it out on your neighbors and your family and if that's the situation? I mean, they're already going through their own shit, and then there you are trying to and it kind of makes sense why everyone in this country is just so freaking cold and miserable. So obviously the weather is the first point. I've noticed like countries that have really good weather, people are generally just happier there. They've got access to vitamin D, natural free vitamin D from the sun. Unlike here, it's like always gloomy, rainy, miserable, freaking cold. And you're just forced to stay indoors and stay inside a freaking matchbox. You're not able to get outside. And if you're not able to get outside, you're not able to interact with people and have fun and socialize. And that's really depressing. When I visited Kenya, there wasn't even a single day that I was inside the house. I don't even remember freaking watching YouTube. I mean, I posted a couple of videos here and there, but that was it. I wasn't really on YouTube. Here, it's like all you can do is be online because you can't really get outside and interact with people. I mean, even if you do go outside, you're going to end up spending so much money, just taking the bus or taking the tube, whatever. It's so expensive just to get outside and socialize then. So I can't even imagine the people who are on minimum wage. How do they even socialize? Which then brings this dude to another point, but let him just finish the video and I'll just elaborate on that.
Out here in Thailand for 7 years and you do not experience that. In Thailand, you have a sense of community. People are actually respectful for one another.
Yes.
I don't think ever come across anybody that's malicious in that kind of way that I see on a regular basis in the UK. And to give you one example, I lived in the UK, I lived in a flat in the UK for 10 years. My front door would open out onto my neighbour's door. I never even spoke to my neighbour in about 10 years.
Freaking hell. Imagine living for 10 years in a flat and your door opens to the next person's door and you don't even talk to that person. How freaking miserable is that? You have neighbors, you have people that you're living with that don't even give a freaking shit about you. They wouldn't even freaking wake up and say, hey, good morning, or how are you doing, or what's going on. It's just, they're just constantly in their own freaking world. Like, yeah, fine. If you're miserable, talk about it. That's the whole purpose of like a community. Like, how do you build a community if you're just gonna keep to yourself? It's just sad that this person lived for 10 years in a flat next to a person that he never talked to. For 10 years? Was it 10 years? Let me see.
Years. Neighbour's door. I never even spoke to my neighbor in about 10 years.
Freaking hell. Freaking hell. 10 years. You're living next to a person that's like literally a wall next to you, and you've never talked to this person for 10 years. That's just sad, man. That is just extremely sad. I mean, you can't get any more miserable than that. You could be going through shit. You could be like suffering. You could freaking just get a heart attack and, just be laying there, and your neighbor that's just on the opposite side of the wall wouldn't even freaking know, because you guys don't even interact with each other. You don't even know. So there's no sense of community. And it's just sad that this is the situation right now. Damn.
What the hell is that? I have more interaction in Thailand. I live in a Thai community.
This is okay. Forget Thailand, but when I went to Kenya, I'm telling you, in Kenya, your neighbor would come out and talk to you. You would interact with everyone and anyone that you met on the street, regardless of whatever your freaking position was, how you were dressed, whatever. They would interact with you. You would interact with them. It was just a community. I don't remember a single day I would go that would go by. I would not talk to a single person when I was back in Kenya. Over here, it's like you can literally go to the store, do a self checkout, and come back inside. Even no matter how overpopulated this country is, you would not talk to a single person. I guarantee it. That's how miserable and shitty it is, and that is the worst experience ever. Right? It's the worst experience ever, and the only way people cope with this is they have these. You buddy up with someone that goes out and starts drinking. And that brings me to the other point, which I was talking about yesterday, about following the social norms. And the social norm here is you make your friends through the pubs. You go to the pub and you start drinking with these people, and that's how you make friends. So the only way that you can make friends here in this country is you have to be a drinker. But the crazy thing is, I don't drink. I've never drank in my life. And how do I make friends with people? It doesn't make. I had a lot of business associates, even people that I was working with. The only way that we could socialize and go out was let's go and meet up at the pub and have a drink. I literally took pictures of like myself over there. Just I was the only person with a soda, and everyone around me was with like alcohol and beers and all that kind of stuff. And and they just looked at me differently. They just treated me like a totally different, like, oh, okay, this guy is not, he's not part of the social group, right? And they just outcast you, like, oh, you're not drinking, oh, you don't drink, oh, okay, oh, but are you having a good time? I'm like, I need to start drinking just so that I can socialize with you.
And I have a greater sense of community and more interaction with the Thai people in my community than I ever had with anybody in the UK. And I don't even speak the language.
It's just sad that this dude has better community with people that don't even share the same language with him. And here you're in a country that you speak the same language and no one gives a shit about you, and you don't have really a community here. Yeah, no one really cares about you. And this is the whole reason of this whole YouTube thing that I'm doing. This is the only way that I can communicate with someone. Is I have to be on a freaking screen facing a camera. You try and go out there and try and interact with people. And, if you're not politically correct or you say something that will offend them, because people are so freaking sensitive these days, freaking sensitive. You could say something that would just trigger them and get them pissed off, and then they'll start talking behind your back. It's really sad. Really
Very
sad.
well. Is that not absolutely insane? Going back to my previous points, the system is against you, but it's the people that enforce the system. And going back to my first point, it's impossible to get ahead as an independent person. It's because the system is against you. Okay, so it's this vicious cycle of oppression, and the people of the country going along with it and enforcing it upon themselves and their communities. There is no community left in the UK. There may be in some places. Like I said, my opinion may be biased because I'm...
Yeah, that's the thing. there are certain places in the UK where you do have the community, but that community is probably just based on a specific religion or a specific race or a specific branch from a religion. Like, because even the Muslim communities, right? They've got different branches. They branch off to like Shias, Boras. I don't remember the other ones. Sunni Muslims. Yeah, so there are all these different branches. So even within the Muslim community, there's like the different types of Muslims. So yeah, it's just sad that you can't really make friends as easy. You can't have a community that easily over here, because it's just like people are miserable again, and they're miserable because of the system. So yeah, that really sucks. All right, let's see what this guy's talking about. So this guy was making this video. I think it starts off from here. Let's go from here. Yes, here.
I just can't help but think there's more to life than waking up, working until it's dark, gymming, and not being able to afford to go out because it's too...
That is absolutely very true. You work day in, day out. You go to the gym, you come back home when it's dark, and that's all you do, like a robot, and you're not able to afford to go out and have a good time. Like, I talked to some of my friends that were like, "Oh, dude, you're able to travel to Paris. You're able to travel to this. Haven't you gone there? Haven't you gone there?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I can. I could go there. Yes, I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I'm able to financially, support myself and I'm able to pay for these trips. But if I do these trips, I'll be broke." People think that, oh, just because you're living here, it means that you must be a freaking multi-millionaire and you're able to travel the world and, all these things are so easily accessible. Yes, I can. But if I do it, I'll be broke. Next video you'll see, I'll be posting myself. Yeah, hi guys. I'm making a live video from the streets of London. It's crazy, man.
Too damn expensive here. Do you know how much this ticket cost me to get here? 20 quid. 20 quid for an hour journey.
Man, forget that, man. You're talking about a 20 quid ticket. I'm talking about £2 for a bus just to drop you off like 3 stops away.
And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the UK. I love this country. I'm proud to have been born here, and I know how lucky and privileged I am to have been born here. But there's something just missing.
Yeah, it's called community. That's what it is.
I guess I'm just in need of a bit of a change. Something that's going to throw me totally out of my comfort zone. And this, here, right now, what I'm doing, filming, scares the absolute life out of me. But it also lights a weird little fire inside, especially when linked with travelling.
Oh, I was actually there. It's not bad.
So, for the past year or so, I've been asking myself a variation of this question every single day and having visions, meditations, whatever you want to call them. What would I want to do if I could do anything in the world and know that I would earn money from it and be 100% successful? And the one thing that always comes up, picture it with me. You close your eyes, you see a beach, you see 2 beautiful children with your partner, and your work is sharing histories and cultures of forgotten nations that people have never learnt about. That sets a fire in me. Not this cold, dreary weather and drone-like hustle mentality. And to be honest, the weather's quite good today. I've come out on a good day, but for the last couple weeks...
Yeah, that's the other thing, whenever you see a video like this, like people are walking around having a good time, it's because they've been cooped up in their house for like weeks, and then finally the weather just improves slightly, and they're like, oh shit, I need to get outside and just document this amazing day. Man, that's just sad.
It's been like -6 every damn morning. This is crazy. Look at all the people lining
This is the thing I tell Kenyans, like, you guys are so freaking privileged and you don't even know it, man. You guys have the best weather and you're just taking it for granted. People just complain, oh, it's too hot, it's too... Yeah, but you can step outside every day. You can step outside every day, right? Rain is just rain, but you can step outside every day. You don't have to wear like 10 layers of clothes just to get outside.
up to take a picture with the phone box. And this is what you guys think Britain is.
I was actually there, yeah.
It's only here, in the centre. But anyway, I think there's more beauty to life than the hustle, drone culture that everyone's living. So in search of that.
One thing I also noticed, look at how it's so bustling. Like there's a lot of people just walking around. But you'll walk around there and you will feel so alone. It's such a weird feeling. Like you're there. There's so many people out there. You can see that. But you still feel so alone. It's a very weird feeling.
I'm off. Work it, bro. Yes.
That's it. Those are the kind of interactions that you have with people. Oh yeah, well, just like one time, quick wins. Like, oh yeah, you just have a small conversation, a small talk, I guess, and then that's it. And then everyone just moves on and carries on with their own lives. You can't really
Honestly,
form
I couldn't
that
have
bond.
picked a more beautiful place to complain about Britain. Look at it, man. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I haven't been here since I was a kid. The London Eye, everyone. Now, another reason I want to get out of this place is because I don't feel like I really connect with anyone here anymore.
Yeah.
And during my travels...
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. You don't really connect with anyone. Like you can have like business associates and people that you just hang out with and just, talk about a specific thing, but you can't really have a deep connection with anyone.
I met so many warm, friendly people who were open to share their culture with me, and that was incredible. No, it's okay. No, you can't do that. You want to pay?
Shit. Man, I was just shocked when I watched this. Flashback to Cambodia, and there's this lady paying for his food, and I'm just like, what? First of all, a lady paying for you? But yeah, this is happening in other countries. But well, definitely not here. I've never, I don't, there was once or maybe once or twice that someone actually bought me a meal, and that was because I bought them a meal. So it kind of canceled out. So yeah, that was basically it. Didn't really happen. Yeah, it didn't really happen again.
No, you joking? Thank you so Arcon. It's not
Holy
like
shit. And they just look like they probably just were strangers.
that here. The culture is very kind of cold. People keep to themselves, and this bridge is absolutely packed right now. How much is
Or
it?
if you want euro, £8 for small, £10 for big.
Wow, the cost of living's right.
£10 for a freaking hot dog, man.
Isn't it? Another huge reason I want to leave the UK is the drinking problem.
Yeah.
The drinking culture
Yeah.
is crazy. We love to get mashed up here, and it's more of a problem than we think it is. And ever since I stopped drinking, I can't help but find every person I meet wants to go out and get mashed up.
Exactly. That's the only conversations that you'd have with people that you want to hang out with. Oh, wait, did let's go and have a drink and then we can get plastered, bro. That's about it, basically. How do you even connect with someone who doesn't drink in this country? I don't think you can.
And I don't want that anymore. I don't want the cold, dark weather. I don't want to drink myself into oblivion.
Yeah.
I want to search for something new. Oop. Oh, it's green. So that's why I'm leaving the UK. To go and make travel videos about the history of nature.
Okay. Well, the main thing is he's found his passion and he knows what he wants to do. And I'm glad that I'm happy for him. So, yeah, it's just something that has been on my mind for a while. and I just question, like, is it even worth it? Yeah, the life is, it's kind of comfortable, but where's the community? How it's just sad that this other dude, 10 years living next to someone that didn't even speak to them for 10 years. Man, that's just sad. But yeah, so cost of living is also crazy. I've watched a lot of people were talking about just the cost of living. The way the rent is so ridiculously high, it doesn't make sense to even get into the property ladder. And if you want to get like a cheaper house, you'd have to go way up north, and that's even going to be way more lonelier because. But I don't know. Maybe people up north are more friendlier. I don't know, man. It's difficult to know until you experience it. So. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for checking out the channel. I really do appreciate it, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.